Hi, I'm Joshua,
Hi, I'm Jeremy.
and this is the Brothers Judah.
Welcome.
What are we talking about today?
Well, there are a few topics. One thing that came up a few times during the week when I was having conversations with people was our words and how important they are, how slight differences in either the words you use or even how you say the words, how they can mean totally different things. And I think it's important that we realize that because nowadays people, myself included, seem to throw words around like they're nothing. They don't really mean much. While I know in the olden days, I know in the biblical times, I know you had mentioned about how when somebody said something, it's almost as good as if it was written. It was like a binding contract if they said something. So I'd like to touch on a couple things. There were a couple examples I wouldn't mind throwing out there.
That sounds like a great topic, yeah.
Okay. So I guess the first thing is something as simple as a and that, right? If I said, hand me a pen, that could be a billion different pens on the planet. But if I said, hand me that pen, that's one. So it's a big difference, just a simple word like that. I mean, that might seem obvious to people, but you can carry that over to many other examples and how we speak. They mean different things. The words you use have a meaning.
And with a pen, though, like it might be insignificant which pen you get, but if maybe a surgeon is asking for a tool or something, it might be more significant. So maybe there are instances where we need more precision in our words. I don't know.
Yeah, but not even just on a functional level, like a tool, a surgeon needing a specific tool. Almost like a spiritual level where when we say things to people, I don't know. I wish I had more examples rather than the pen one. But
well, I think it has to do also with like having integrity and being truthful.
Yes, truthful, big thing.
Yeah, because like I know when I'm working really hard to be truthful in everything I do, not just what I say, but also in my heart with my actions, and I think I'm more careful with my words when I'm trying to make sure what I'm saying is truthful.
Yeah. We all, myself definitely included, can be more careful with our words, and also taking a second to think before speaking. I know I tend to just jump to the words, but times where I'm a little more thoughtful. It doesn't have to be long. You don't have to sit there for 5 seconds waiting for the person to speak. But even when there's a conversation, people tend to, if there's a second gap in a conversation, it's almost uncomfortable for many people, and they have to just say something. It doesn't matter what it is; they just fill in the silence. So, and if you fill in the silence just with something, it might lead the conversation in a direction that might not be as best as if you had really digested what the other person said and then responded with something that was a little more meaningful or effective.
Yeah.
One other thing which I love, I've been saying this for many, many years. Dad is the one who initially told me it. But so there's many sentences, but this one example, there's a sentence where you say the exact same words, but depending on which word you stress, it means totally different things. So it goes like this. I didn't tell Jack to eat the fish. Right? You stress I. Joe told him to eat the fish. Right? I didn't tell Jack to eat the fish. I insinuated or implied. Right? I didn't tell Jack to eat the fish. I told Bob to eat the fish. I didn't tell Jack to eat the fish. I told him to feed the fish. I didn't tell Jack to eat the fish. I told him to eat the chicken. So whichever word you stress, it means totally different things.
Yeah.
So and with that, that I think leads to something we've touched on in the past, but many conversations nowadays, not in person, not through even voice, it's through text. And not even through long text, it's through short little snippets of words. So not only do you not have the connotation and the tone and how you say things, and not only do you not have the expression, the facial expressions, but you also don't have the context of the bigger picture where it's from. You just see a sentence, and then you have to immediately think and assume what they're talking about. And another example, so if you were to say, what is a CD? If you said that to a disc jockey, they'd say compact disc, most likely. If you said it to a banker, they'd probably say certificate of deposit. So all these words, we have a lot of associations in our mind from all of our past experiences and things that we're currently thinking of or doing, or something that's relevant to our life. And I think that's why there's a lot of one of the reasons why there's a lot of miscommunication nowadays.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're from an older generation, you don't get the cultural references and you don't really know what all the letters mean.
Well,
so it's even more confusing.
I'm feeling that now. I consider myself young, although I'm realizing I'm not young anymore. I'm transitioning.
Yeah.
I'm transitioning, but there's a lot of references now that I'm starting to not get. Yeah. I mean, celebrities, especially in the music.
I don't know any of the pop people. I'm like,
not
never
a single
heard of
one.
Them. Yeah.
But
yeah, that's a separate topic.
Yeah, I thought of a separate topic too, with trends and clothing and stuff. But,
yeah. And also with fame, like
there was a good Billy Joel song, "The Entertainer," I think it was. I don't know if you ever heard that, but he says, I wish I had the quote. He said something about if I don't make the charts. I wish I knew it.
It's all right.
Yeah.
People can do a little research.
They'll look up Billy Joel's "The Entertainer," read the words. He said something about if I don't make the charts, I'll be irrelevant or something, or you'll forget my name if I don't. Yeah. I don't know, something.
Yeah. I mean, words are important. They're very important. I've been watching a show about like a British monarchy.
Okay.
One of the like masterpiece theater shows, and people are it's fascinating culturally how they interact. It's all about like the social interaction and like the wit and what they're saying, like to be a gentleman, but also kind of like give a dig, and like they're just so particular with their words, and it's fascinating to me because I don't know, maybe it's just evolved over time, but it just doesn't seem as, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I see a degeneration of language.
Yeah.
And oh no, I don't want to go into a depressing topic.
No.
But I don't know. I guess the motivation that I want to feel is to be more thoughtful in my words.
Yeah.
And when I say things to anyone, to people, I really want to think before I speak, choose my words wisely, and also live by my words. I don't want to just, especially I really want, with my son, he's an eight-year-old boy. He's always saying stuff, and Dad, let's play this, so let's do this. And it's very easy for me to be, I'm in the middle of work. Oh, okay, I'll play after. And then after, what happens? Oh, it's dinner time, then laundry, and then I end up not playing.
Yep.
And that's a lie. And I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want to be very careful. So I've been trying to, if you say, well, I'll try to play after if I'm able to, or something like that.
Yep.
But even that, if I'm able to, well, I am able to.
Yeah.
What if I just choose something else to do? So,
yeah, I don't like saying things that I then can't uphold, because then it puts me in a lie.
Yeah.
So I definitely try to be careful with my words, so I know that I can meet my obligations that I'm committing to. Definitely.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, I don't know. Anything else on this topic?
Well, there's also not just what words we use, but also like the effectiveness of what we're saying. Like, is what we're saying going to have a positive impact or reach this person, or is there a purpose to it? Like if I'm just saying something to someone with an opposite viewpoint that is just going to make them angry, for example, right? Is that effective? And is that is the purpose of why I'm saying it to just make them angry, to just be right? Or is it to try to have a positive influence? Or, that's a factor as well. It's like,
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
I didn't think of it during this conversation, but you're definitely right. A lot of times when people say stuff, I know there was a period of time, I haven't thought about it in a while, and I should, but there was a period of time when I was thinking of what I say and why I'm saying it. And I noticed even the wording of what I said, a lot of times it was just to feed ego. A lot of times it was, I'd say, can't think of an example, but oh yeah, when you know, a lot of times you'll insert, you know, the words "I," or you'll say something you did, or I can't think of an example, but hopefully you guys know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something I've thought about a lot over the years too, as I try to be of more integrity and honest and also just more effective, because like, what's the point of just arguing with someone just to create more negativity? Like, what's the bigger picture, or the intention or the purpose of the, you know?
Well, that's a huge thing, because I notice when a lot of people argue, it doesn't seem effective at all. Like you see it with politics all the time.
Yeah.
You know, we're at a family gathering or something, two cousins are arguing, and it's like, and I'm watching the conversation or the argument, or if you call it a conversation, because like at the end of the conversation, neither side is going to sway their opinion at all. They're just both going to be mad at each other, and they don't understand each other anymore.
Yeah.
Like the way they should be arguing is, you know, they should listen to the other person, then maybe ask a question about how that person feels, and not a passive aggressive question, you know, trying to get you. Oh, well, you know, but an actual, you know.
But that comes from actually taking an interest in another person and trying to understand another person and actually caring and wanting to learn. Like it takes a level of humility to approach a situation as, what can I learn?
Yeah.
Like I have this Bible study that I attend, and sometimes when I started and I was on there, I was like, oh, I want to share like what I know about the Bible, or my insights about the Bible or whatever. And then I happened to notice in this particular group, like there's some really smart people and wise too in the group. So I started shifting to, like, I'm showing up to learn, rather than I'm showing up to show what I know.
Yeah.
And it's a totally different place to be in, and rather than just, I'm right and I'm gonna convince you, and if you don't get it, you're an idiot. Like, and all.
Well, I think you're completely right on that. But kind of another, I don't know. I've noticed that I've seen many arguments where the person arguing does care about people, yet they're still falling into that same trap.
It's ineffectual.
Yeah, but they do care about the other person, but it's almost like their mind goes on autopilot, and they immediately start spouting things in the argument, and they're not actually, I don't know, hearing the other person, being present in the argument. They're just like replaying arguments in their mind, or they associate the other person. If the other person says one thing, oh, I like this, or the other person says, I like this, they associate that person with all the other things that they associate that, you know, a person who likes that with. And then they just go off. And I mean, I know I'm guilty of that too.
I mean, I always ask myself, how can I, like, in every moment, like, am I serving the highest good in that moment? And and then since I've become Christian, I've kind of shifted to that, like, how am I serving God's will in this moment?
Yeah.
And part of that has been following the Holy Spirit. So, you know, there's a quote in the Bible, be in step with the Holy Spirit. So I try to, in every moment, the more I practice serving God's will, and every action I take, is it to serve? And I catch myself, because I'll like argue with myself, like if it's something I want but maybe isn't what serving God is, then I'll start to like try to rationalize it. So the more I'm in the practice of following the Holy Spirit, the more effectual I think we can be in situations, because we're just neutral, and we're just there to serve, as opposed to impose our will on people and the situation.
Yeah, I think what you said about the more we're in practice, I've definitely noticed that, where, I mean, our mind jumps around. Our mind works a lot by association. So when you think of one thing, other things that are kind of associated with it, your mind kind of skips to. So I've noticed that even on, like, I've tried this and I've failed every single time, but I wake up in the morning, okay, every second, every thought that goes through, I'm going to try to make the best decision. Be like, okay, the best decision is not to press the snooze button to get out of bed right now. The best decision is to make my bed. Okay, and I literally make it 4 or 5, if that, steps. The next thing I know, it's like, okay, don't press the snooze, make the bed, and then all of a sudden my mind's thinking of something else, and I'm gonna eat this for breakfast. No, this, I have to do that, and my mind's lost and gone.
Yeah.
It's almost we have to constantly be reminding ourselves and throughout the day and set up almost habits, because without that, there's so many distractions, in the world, and it's very easy for us to just forget about what's truly meaningful.
But that's why, God asks us to worship him and focus on him, is because when we have other idols, like if we don't have that as our main focus all the time, then we can never really get to that place.
Yeah.
And that place is being at peace, and things like being right, in right alignment, and it's a wonderful place, but that has to be our main priority. It can't be like, I'll get to it when I have time. Like, that has to be at the center of everything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Definitely true. Yeah. A lot to work on. Yeah. A lot to work on. But I don't know. I try. Somebody in my martial arts said to me, well, this kind of, I don't want to say a bad word, but he said, think of yourself a year ago. Could you kick that person's A? And it's like, okay. He's like, then you're making progress. It's like, because you go through ups and downs. Last week I might have felt more energetic, but this week I'm not feeling as energetic. So, so he said that, meaning, you have to kind of look farther back. So, and it's the same thing with the spirituality. Some days I'm doing better than others, but the key is to constantly be striving to be better, and you really see the direction you're headed when you look back a little farther than yesterday. When you look back a year ago. So a year ago, how much was I sinning? What was I doing? The hope is not to be able to kick your own A from a year ago, but to be a better person than you were a year ago.
Yeah.
So
definitely, it's definitely good to reflect back on how we've grown and what we've learned and everything. That's cool.
Well, we're about to be out of time. Any last thoughts?
No, I just think it's a great topic. It's really important to be conscious of our words and use them properly and
I agree
with purpose. And
thanks.
Yeah. So.
All right.
All right.
Until next time.
Take care.
Enjoy.